Hi, everybody. Welcome to Rolling with the Davises. Becky here. Today, I want to talk to you about the town of Tombstone. We see so much online about it being a tourist trap and how expensive it is, and it's just a waste of time. I'm going to tell you, we absolutely love Tombstone, Arizona. Are there a lot of touristy things to do? Sure, there are. There's a lot of shopping. There's a lot of bars and restaurants, some of them in historical buildings. There's a couple different gunfight reenactments in town. If you're interested in history, do like most people and go to the Good Enough Mine Tour. If you happen to be there on the right Saturday night, do the Tough Nut Tour. Only then do you really begin to realize the extent of the mining under the town. And it includes dinner and a show. Tombstone is a great hub for visiting Chiricahua National Monument and the Kartchner Caverns. What about the historic town of Bisbee to the south? Lots of art museums and other things to do down there, including the Queen Mine Tour. Maybe the weekend you're in town, the bull riding's going on over at the Shootout Arena. And don't forget the city park. Great place to just go and people watch if you like. There's a statue commemorating Ed Shefflin and free restrooms. What we see is people come into town for a day or two and they spend all their time on Allen Street. Forget if you're like us and you like hiking and getting out seeing animals and doing other things, there's plenty to do in the area. If you follow along here, you'll see some hikes that we did. You'll see the animals that we saw actually in town without having to drive anywhere. We even visited a free museum in town. Tombstone is a great place to spend time if you're a bird watcher or an animal lover. These hummingbirds were on our front porch, but I believe they live in the big tree across from Tombstone Brewing Company. We sat there a couple nights and you could just watch them flitting in and out of that tree. It was pretty cool. And then you'd see these quail. They were hysterical to watch. And I know this is hard to see, but they're so funny. They'll run across one direction, then they turn and run the other direction. It's almost like they're part of a cartoon. And I know that's their defense mechanism, but they're still very funny to watch and hard to get on video, get any pictures. There are some javelinas that spend time in town. We saw them mostly on the northeast corner of town when we were out for our morning strolls. They're kind of cute, kind of odd looking, but just keep in mind, we've been told that they can be vicious. Be sure to keep your distance, especially in a situation like this where there's a mama and a baby. Very seldom that you go out in Tombstone without seeing the mule deer population in town, whether you're walking or driving. This was all filmed with a zoom lens. I was way back from these deer. This one female coming up here looked like she wasn't real happy with me being there, but I gave her her distance, believe me. If you can get into town on one of the weekends the Tombstone Vigilantes are performing, believe me, it's well worth the time to line up on the street and watch their presentations. They do Old West skits. The weekend we were there was Vigilante weekend, and they were joined by the Castle Dome Marauders out of Yuma and the Salt River Regulators, who I believe are out of Tucson or Phoenix. Had a really good time. I spent the morning watching them. Very entertaining.
I got one more. You're done now. Wait. Hey, what did you do? I don't know. You all right? You got any holes? Ain't got no holes, but how about I just buy you a drink? This gunfight is first.
How about I just buy you a drink? That was the call out, ladies and gentlemen, of the Tombstone Vigilante Storage.
Oh, baby. no. Oh no. Yeah.
Another broken pole.
All right, you two. I've had about enough. This shit has turned into a gunfight really quick.
Weren't you the one that said get rid of the guns?
What happened to our guns?
Oh boy! You looking for these?
Oh no, come on.
Be sure to stop by the Arizona Ranger Museum at 121 South 4th Street, open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The Rangers were established in 1901 to deal with the lawlessness in the Arizona Territory. They were disbanded in 1909 and reestablished in 1957 as a volunteer organization, which still works throughout the state. This is a free museum, but of course they accept donations. There is a volunteer group in the Tombstone area called Friends of the San Pedro River. They have docent-led hikes that will take you to some beautiful scenery and also help you learn some of the history of the area. You can go to their Facebook page, Friends of the San Pedro River, or you can go to their website, sanpedroriver.org, to get more information and scheduling for their hikes. Our first hike with this group was to the Clanton Ranch. If you're a fan of the movie Tombstone, that name will be very familiar to you.
Now we're here at the Clanton Ranch here in
the San Pedro Riparian area between Tombstone and Sierra Vista, much closer to Sierra Vista than Tombstone.
Yeah, this adobe here behind us is the only part of this ranch house that's left of the Clantons. A lot of history here we learned today.
We did a hike with a docent from the Friends of the San Pedro River. Very informative. I'm going to guess she was a teacher at some point. Lots of history. She talked about the Earps, the Clantons, the McLowrys. Actually even said that no matter what you read, it's kind of one of those things. There's two sides to every story, and the truth is somewhere in the middle, that we don't 100% know what happened between everybody here during the Tombstone era.
Our second hike with the docents from Friends of the San Pedro River was to the Presidio Santa Cruz de Torrente. We learned a lot about the time that the Spanish was here in the area. This is their fort that they built along the river. There's not a lot of the fort left. The adobe was not maintained over the years and has eroded away, but still very interesting. There are some informative signs that show you the different parts of the fort and what they were used for. If the timing doesn't work to do one of these hikes with a docent from the Friends of the San Pedro, you can do any of them on your own. The Friends of the San Pedro are based out of San Pedro House. That's where this hike is. They have a gift shop, bookstore, and they also have interpretive guides that you can take either for this trail or for some of the other trails. The San Pedro House itself is a historic ranch home restored by the Friends of the San Pedro. There are other buildings still existing in the area. One of our favorite hikes we did the last time we were in the area was from Fairbanks, north of Tombstone. It's an old mining town, railroad town. There is a short off spur to an old cemetery. Just a pretty cool hike down along the river. I'll link the video to that below. If you're looking for a short hike with some ancient history, hit up the Murray Springs Clovis site. Don't pay any attention to anything saying the site is closed. You just have to walk in from the bigger road. This is a very worthwhile hike with some beautiful scenery and some great history. So again, my point is, when you get to Tombstone, allow yourself some time for the things that aren't the tourist attractions. Get out there, get some hiking done, see some museums, enjoy the touristy things. Sure, they're great, but there is more to Tombstone, Arizona. And as always, let's keep rolling.